Good evening and welcome to a Bitcoin all-time high special stream as Bitcoin approaches the 120k mark on a Sunday night, putting in highest daily candle close in history, highest weekly candle close in history. A few hours to go, but we look very, very strong, and total crypto market cap looks to be on the verge of breaking out as well. Tonight we're going to cover all the main charts. We're going to answer a few questions that people have got, especially from CC Pro members that have been coming in throughout the day, and we are going to cover why we think we could be on the cusp of a massive, explosive rally in the altcoin market. Get your questions in. If there is anything you want to cover, drop it in the chat. We will go through some charts, so maybe not just look at this chart, look at that chart. If there's anything you want to ask or anything you want to understand before we go into possibly the most important 3 months in the last 5 years. So let's have a look at Bitcoin to start with. Daily, new all-time high just a little earlier at $119,500. Pull back down into the $118,000 area just now, but we are on course for that massive weekly candle close, which does take us into price discovery. It does take us way above all the other wicks, and we are looking very strong. If you look on the daily, you can see that we've pretty much filled a lot of the imbalances as well. So the market is extremely strong right now. We've got the breakout from here. We are now in price discovery, and if we look at the fibs on this move here, you can see we are getting closer and closer to that $120,500 level, which I think, in my opinion, we look like we could hit that tonight, tomorrow. Everything is flying right now. Ethereum is probably one of the charts to watch. If we break this $3,000 level, which we've been trying for 4 days now, I think we will see a massive breakout in the alts. I think $3,000 sends us to $3,500 pretty quick, and then up to $4,100, which has not been broken this cycle so far and has hit 3 times since March 2024. I said a couple of weeks ago that I thought Ethereum needed to close a weekly above kind of this wick area down here. I'll try and zoom in just for the stream, but in here I had said that if we broke this level on a weekly candle close, I think that would be really bullish. Looks like we're going to do that pretty comfortably, and I think that is a massive signal to the market and altcoins that alt season has arrived, and there's a lot of bullish momentum behind altcoins going into next week as well, which we'll touch on later. Let's have a look at the total market cap. Like I said, we're just waiting on a confirmed breakout. So if let's take the fibs off just for now. On the weekly chart, you can see we are just about testing new all-time high. So the new all-time high would come at $3.74 trillion. We're at 3.67, hitting 3.71 earlier today. But for me, I think we could get to 4 trillion very quickly. You look at the fibs on this move here. We've broken through the last one. We break the top, and 4.6 trillion is the next target. If we look at the fib on the entire cycle, you can see 4.4 trillion is the next target for this move as well. So pretty confident that we're going to see some epic moves in crypto over the next 7 days. If we extend this over, it's quite interesting to see as well. The 702 level always is a key level in crypto, and you can see all-time high back in 2021, bear market low 2022. We came up, we got to the 886 level, got rejected, fell back down, struggled with the 702, but we've now tested the 702 as support, and that was that April tariff war drama over nothing. And then we have pumped well clear of it, moving up. What's that? 1.4 trillion since the start of April. So yeah, we get clear of 3.74 trillion. We go to 4.4, maybe 4.6 trillion in the coming probably 60 days, and that is what sends altcoins to new all-time highs. We'd likely see XRP put a new all-time high in, BNB put a new all-time high in. It's looking like it's about to break out. Similar situation to Ethereum, just needs to get through this liquidity trap. Solana probably goes 250 to all-time high range, and we just see a market-wide pump once total market cap breaks out. what's bullish as well is we're seeing dominance start to decline. So we drew this on last week when we were doing the stream, and you can see on the 3-day chart, dominance is starting to come back down from that 66% level. I think that's it. I think we will see that speed up over the coming weeks. I think this week we've got Genius Act, Clarity Act, and CPI inflation. So all big for volatility for the markets, but also massive for crypto. I think the Clarity Act, it's the first stage of it, but I think it will send an amazing signal to the market if that is passed quite easily. If we look at Coinbase stock, so Coinbase stock closed at a new, apart from its IPO day, it closed at a new all-time high on Friday. We've got Robinhood putting in new all-time highs, and we've got the Circle IPO still holding up pretty strong, to be fair. It's dropped, it looks like it's bottoming out here. I would expect it to start curling back up, putting a new all-time high in the coming weeks. And then you've got MicroStrategy, which I think is going to explode in the coming weeks, and the reason for that is it's earnings season kicking off this week. MicroStrategy's earnings are probably going to be the biggest quarter over quarter improvement in history, and that's just because of the amount of Bitcoin and the move in Bitcoin. So yeah, watch out for MicroStrategy. I think earnings don't take place till August. Yeah, the 5th of August. I think that'll be massive. And then something, if you've been following us for a while, you know we are very bullish on silver. You can see silver put in its highest weekly close since 2011. So massive move for silver. It's got loads of room to grow. I think it could take out the all-time high in the back half of this year, especially if we get that rate cut, QE, and all things macro related to line up. Let's have a look at XRP. We've been talking about this for weeks. We actually posted, if you're not in CC Pro, we'll cover why you need to be in CC Pro shortly, but we actually posted a few days ago a bunch of charts and said we cannot find a bearish chart, and literally about 2 days later the market broke out. But if you look at XRP, you can see it was just coiling up in this massive descending triangle on the weekly chart, and then on the daily you could see there was a smaller pattern which it broke first. Now on the weekly we've basically hit target 1, which would be that kind of 297 level it hit on Friday. Next target's all-time high. I expect that to come pretty soon, especially if the market continues to break out, and then from there we go into price discovery. I think the next logical target's like 450 or something like that. Yeah, 452 would be the next logical target for XRP. That is where huge FOMO kicks in for me, because that's where all the headlines will start dropping, and that's where retail start to pile in. I think XRP's been probably the most hated coin recently. We've saw all the Bitcoin maxis come out against XRP. That noise will just get louder and louder as XRP starts to perform. And yeah, it's very bullish for everybody that held through these painful periods down here. You know, it was down at what, 16? Did we get as low as 16 sitting? I think that was back here. Yeah. But there's loads of people we know that have been holding all through kind of 2020. We maybe never got the breakout everybody expected in 2021 due to the court case, and then held and held and held, and now patience is being rewarded as we've kind of said it would. Bitcoin back up at 19k, 119k should I say. Right, we will jump through the chat. Let's have a look. A lot of people in tonight, which is great to see. A lot of people that aren't watching Love Island, which is nice. Let's have a look. So we've got a lot of familiar faces. Is it time? Yeah, Lee, I think it is. I think over the last few days, one thing we've saw is key signals. You know, we've saw isolated pumps, but we've also seen market breadth open up. And we'll touch on that in a wee while. But most altcoins are starting to move. off key areas. So hopefully you've been paying attention over the last kind of year and a half, buying really low, and you can kind of now sit back and enjoy what's to come. Do not sell your dog, Plum, please. Opal to $7. Yeah, that would be nice. I think for me, I'd like to see it back above. I think 40 cents is like a key area for me. I think if we get there, that's a 10x from where we called it. Obviously, I do think it's going to go higher before everybody starts. I think 40 cents would be a nice little 10x. Everybody can feel happy about their investment, take some profits off the table. And I think we could get there pretty quick. And the reason for that is there's zero sell pressure in the chart. And we've saw some coins do very well because of that over the last 7 days. Dawn's in. Nice. Let's see. Halftime. Yeah, I forgot the nonsense FIFA Club World Cup was on. Apologies. When Lambo time is here. A98. UTK and AI Tech. Yeah, we'll see if we get time for that. UTK, like I say it every stream, I like it. Just don't know if it's kind of missed its chance. Chev wants thoughts on tariffs. I think everybody knows my thoughts on tariffs, but we'll chat about it if you want. Cool. So one thing I wanted to show right now is this chart here. So I found this really interesting chart. This is the Russell 2000. So this is small cap tech stocks in the States. And not to bang on too much about macro, but if you look at this chart, it basically looks the exact same as the Ethereum versus Bitcoin chart. If we look at it on this scale. So you can see had a run up and then just bled out over the long period. Now, obviously this is macro, so this is like decades. But what's interesting is they're basically calling the bottom on this chart. Anyone in macro is calling the bottom. And what's going to reverse this is rate cuts. And basically what's happened is all the money's flowed into big tech stocks because they don't rely on debt, they don't rely on cheap capital, they don't rely on anything like that, whereas small caps do. And it's the exact same story in crypto. Bitcoin can perform in various different environments because it's the alpha predator, it's the lead coin, it's the one that has all the benefits of crypto. It's a store of value, it's limited supply, decentralized, blah blah blah, all that. The rest require liquidity, and it's the exact same thing in the stock market. So we've seen the Russell 2000 in the last couple of days start to show some key strength. We broke out of this head and shoulders pattern. We've now closed above the 702 on the 3-day chart, and we are now starting to build above it. This for me is hugely bullish, and I think we will see some bigger moves, especially with what Trump's doing in the States. So tariffs, deregulation, energy moves, rate cuts, all that. The reason Trump is banging on about Powell reducing rates is because of this, because this chart basically signals the middle class and the working class in America, and if this improves, it improves everything in the economy. So it's something important. It's important to pay attention to. It's just a little chart that I thought was interesting to bring up, something a bit different, but really important to pay attention. And I think the next week or so, CPI inflation this week, if it's low, it comes in cooler than expected, and it's around that 2% mark, with which true inflation is signaling it should be. True inflation at 1.7, then I think Powell either quits, which there's a lot of rumours about, or he cuts rates. Either one sends markets absolutely parabolic. Vinny, highest XRP gets this cycle. For me, I think it can do 9. Like, I'll probably be out of 99.9% of it around the 750 mark. Just because it moves so violently, it could easily just like flip everybody's expectations. I think on the longer term scale, I don't have that chart here. 2 seconds. Let's move over to this chart. This is a better chart. Let's go to 2 weekly. I think on this it goes to 11 something. I'm sure it's, yeah, it goes up to 13. I mean, it could technically get there. There's going to be loads of money printing, trillions coming out of space, all that stuff. I'd love to see it go to 13, just because it was one of the first coins I ever bought. But yeah, I think $7 to $9 is a great area to get out as much profit as possible from the market. Swisscoin could break all-time high. I think one thing that everybody, I keep seeing on X, is that, you know, most coins won't break their all-time highs. I kind of disagree. I think there's so much money coming into the markets that, and people are so greedy, especially in Wall Street, that I don't see why they wouldn't pump the entire market. In fact, I don't know if Deck's on, but one of the things he said earlier was, in fact, I'm just trying to find what he said. Because it was spot on. Liquidity doesn't discriminate, and basically what he's saying is, when liquidity flows into this market, it's going to send the entire market flying. It doesn't care about fundamentals. It doesn't care about you're going to change the world and blah blah blah. And this ISO 2022 narrative that's going about XRP right now, like, it's not about that. It's all about liquidity. And when liquidity flows in, it's going to send everything flying, especially the trillions that's going to come into the market. So yeah, really bullish on most coins getting to all-time high, and especially from their lows. Let's have a look. So Shiv says thoughts on tariffs. I've said all along, tariffs aren't inflationary. Don't believe the left-wing media, because they're all just anti-Trump, and they're going to say whatever he does is bad. Tariffs aren't going to cause massive inflation. For one, the producer will pay a big chunk of the price rise, so they will either suck it up or they'll lose sales. On top of that, there's going to be more competition. And on top of that, it just becomes a choice. If you, like, you look at, I always look at things like the iPhone. The iPhone gets way more expensive every single year, but it doesn't get much better every year. But everybody still rushes out and buys it because they don't care about the price. Because most things that are big purchases, like iPhones and things like that, you don't pay them in a one-off. Most people buy them either on finance or on a contract. So yeah, I think it's just noise. I think it's just crazy. Revenues are helping the deficit. And ultimately, what tariffs really are is about bringing in revenue to the US, but I also think it's about not sending dollars abroad. When the US buys loads of stuff from abroad, it sends dollars. They dollars then get reinvested in treasuries. And what that means is China and Japan basically control a big chunk of the US bond market, and that's all they're trying to fight against. But yeah, so that's my thoughts. I wouldn't worry about it. I think even if there is a 1 month inflation bump, it'll be over. I don't even know if we'll get that. ISO 2022 or whatever it is. Yeah, it goes live. It's just, I would be careful buying into the hype on narratives like that. It's a bit like the Google partnership that every coin seems to have, and the latest one is every AI project in crypto claims that they've got a partnership with Nvidia, but basically what it means is they use AI which uses Nvidia chips. It doesn't mean anything. So yeah, I'd be careful buying into those narratives. Just so happens that it goes live this week and all the coins are pumping. You've got Algorand, you've got XRP, XLM, and they're all doing really well. Maybe off the back of that, or maybe it's just because liquidity's flowing out in the market and it's time. We've consolidated for basically 3 years, and finally it's time for markets to pump. And actually, the move for this new financial system's irrelevant. Let's have a look at Inspect. We'll look at some of the smaller market cap coins as well. Yeah, Inspect doing pretty well. To be fair, I've always been bullish on the idea. My only concern on Inspect now is Twitter and Grok and AI. Inspect's a bit more manual, so like I use Perplexity and ChatGPT every single day, but would I then use something as manual as Inspect? I don't know. But I think if Twitter integrate crypto payments, stable coins, all that, I think it'll do really well just because it's natural and it's already integrated. Great product, nice and slick. I've loved it since the minute I found it. But yeah, be interested to see how they can incorporate AI, maybe with a DEX or something like that. I think that would really transform it, set it up for success into the new kind of AI era. All right, let's talk about the most important project in crypto. Let's talk about Vantage. So, if you don't know what Vantage is, it is our own project, which we have finally released after years and years of people asking for us to release a project. It's designed to deliver passive income monthly to token holders. It's designed to be completely the opposite of what crypto is right now. That's quite funny. Dex just literally said what I've just said. That is not scripted at all, by the way. Vantage basically is designed to go against the entire crypto space. So everybody watching this stream, everybody in CC Pro is investing in tokens that promise massive, amazing ideas. And on paper, it sounds great. But basically what happens is they raise millions of dollars. You hold the coin for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, whatever it may be. And you're lucky if they ever deliver a product. You're even luckier if the token launches and does well. And eventually, you're kind of just left holding a token for years on end. And there's a few problems with that nobody talks about in crypto, and that's missed opportunity. If you put 10 grand in a crypto coin and have to hold it for 2 or 3 years, where else could that 10 grand be invested in making you returns? Well, that's why we've created Vantage. So the token price becomes irrelevant. You earn passive income based on how many tokens you hold, and all you have to do is stake them. The funds in Vantage are invested in diversified assets across the economy, so loads of different assets to make sure it's as diversified as possible. And then it delivers returns based on the profits, and it's all the profit the fund makes in a month. We take 10% off to reinvest in the fund, so the fund will always appreciate and it will always go up in value. But then everything else is shared equally amongst every single token holder, including the team, including Vantage. There is no different percentages or anything like that. It's just 100%. Every single token earns the same amount. The reason we are so bullish on this is because it then means that you're not missing out on opportunities. You're earning yield even if the token's down 90% in a bear market. During a long drawn out bear market where cryptos just bleed out, especially versus Bitcoin, you don't earn anything. You just sit in a loss hoping for that one day where there's a massive pump and you can sell. Well, we've designed Vantage to go against that so that token price can be up, token price can be down. You earn the same every single month based on the performance of the fund. So we're really bullish on it. We think it delivers a lot of value to holders, delivers a lot of value to our audience who have supported us, and we've had a varied audience since Don and Deck started CC Pro. Obviously, I've come in more recently, but we wanted to deliver something that actually we could be proud of and actually we could look back on and have long-term success. Not a meme coin, not something that's going to go 100x and then zero in the next 2 weeks, not something that one person will make a lot of money and everybody else gets wrecked. This is so democratized, so fair that we feel like it adds a lot of value. And actually, this is what crypto was about. Like, if you think about crypto when you first got into it, crypto was about access for everyone. The little guy in the street being able to make money without all this knowledge of the financial system, without having to go to some fancy school or JP Morgan or anything like that. That's what crypto was about. Most crypto projects have just tried to extract as much value from the market as possible. We saw the Pump.Fun meme coin yesterday raising $600 million that they don't need because they've already got a working product. So they don't need that money, but they want that money. That is the problem with the crypto market. And basically what we want everybody to do is earn dividends every single month from the fund. The fund performs, you earn your share of it, you don't have to do anything. The returns are paid in dollars and USDT, so you don't have to sell tokens, you just stake and earn, and it's as simple as that. The pre-sale's open just now. We did a community round, it sold out in less than an hour. We've now got the public sale open, we've raised 55k so far, and once the returns start coming in, we are massively bullish that that's when the FOMO will kick in, but by then the public sale will be closed. So if you want to get tokens, if you're not already invested, this is going to be the cheapest price you'll be able to get it. As soon as we start publishing the AUM growth, the returns, the percentages that token holders are going to earn, the FOMO will go insane. And yeah, we're really bullish long term, and you can earn your share just by holding the tokens. I'll drop the link in the chat just for anyone that wants to go. You just need USDT on a Solana wallet. You just connect it. There's a little demo that shows you tokenomics are there, disclaimers are there, white papers there, but it's pretty simple. The tokens will be distributed at TG, and yeah, we are very bullish for it. Crypto King. Do you know what, Crypto King? See, if the price crashes because everybody sells, the people that actually hold the token will then earn more money. So price doesn't matter, and that's the hilarious thing. So yeah, pessimists always lose in life as well. So that's just a fact. So yeah, that's the best thing about Vantage, is it's price agnostic. Price goes up, everybody's holding a bag which is worth a lot more, and the fund will increase in value. Price goes down, there's less people staking, so you earn a bigger share of the pot. So yeah, it doesn't matter about the token price, it's all about the dividends paid monthly to token holders. But yeah, let's get back to Bitcoin, showing some real strength. Private investors will dump, I know. We don't have VCs or private investors, it's community led. So yeah, but that's cool. If people want to dump the token, that's fine, because everybody that holds and stakes will earn more money. So actually, it's beneficial. All right, let's turn our attention to more positive news. Bitcoin back up at $119,300. Ethereum's still testing this. I think if you look on the 4-hour time frame, so it's a lovely fake double top in my opinion, and I could be wrong obviously, but it actually wouldn't surprise me is if we got one more test of $3,000, even if we came back down to kind of the $2,900 level, everybody would pile into shorts here, and then that could be the trigger. But to me, I think we're going to get a bullish weekly close, bullish daily close, and I think this week is going to be amazing for crypto. I think as well as what's interesting is the rumours of Powell quitting seem to now be coming from kind of stronger sources. So yeah, that could be an interesting left field story that nobody's really expected. QNT crawls along like a glacier. I think it's is it not doing quite well today? Yeah, it's not. I wouldn't. It doesn't look terrible. I suppose it depends where you bought it, but you've had this is one thing, and I suppose we've been banging this drum for 2 years, or maybe even 3 years at this point, but you've had 1, 2, 3, 4 chances to accumulate down in the lows. So from, is this April 7th yet? April 7th, it's up 94% in, what's that, 3 months? That's not bad. Like, yeah, I would just stay patient. I think the other thing a lot of tokens that look like this is once they get out of this kind of range, maybe even as high as 161, but I would look at something around this level here, 145. Once you break that, there's not really any resistance. So this thing could break 145, maybe back test it, and then literally fly to all-time high in the matter of like a couple of weeks, because there's no sell pressure, there's no resistance levels, there's no key areas. The next one's probably 267 up there, and then you're talking all-time high. So yeah, I think if you've been buying kind of up here, you know, around above 100, you probably are feeling a bit underwater, but yeah, it's up 94% since April, so hopefully you've managed to average down, and you should see some profits pretty soon. Jupiter Coin, I speak about DEX tokens all the time. I think they're going to be huge. It's doing really well. We actually shared this on an alpha live stream a few weeks ago, this trade here, so it's up 36%. I think we shared Arbitrum at the same time. Maybe this chart, because I've got two. I think Arbitrum was down here, and it's up about the same, yeah, up 40%, so both doing very well. Some nice chart patterns as well. So Fraser, that's just I assume you follow my personal account. Yeah, that was just a bit of fun. I listened to a podcast, and there was an eclipse the end of March, and the person had kind of predicted that there was going to be a big sell-off in crypto, and it would mark the local bottom when the eclipse happened. I think it was the week before all the tariffs broke out, and that was the local bottom. And the next one's mid-September, which coincides with the FOMC meeting, which is when the rates are meant to get cut. So I've kind of joked that we'll see a sell-off mid-September because of the eclipse, but really it'll be because it'll be a sell the news event with the rate cut and stuff like that. So yeah, just a bit of fun on Twitter, annoying people as usual. All right, everybody's asked for it, so let's dive over to Borg. 20 cents, sitting nice and pretty right now. Quite a nice 3-day candle printing. Just still in accumulation, a bit like we just showed with QNT. We are still in accumulation phase. I'm not really broken out, as I'm sure everybody knows. We don't really get phased. We're not necessarily looking at the day-to-day chart on Borg. If you look at the fibs, it's still down in this range here. Clear 47 cents. We could get up through the range pretty quickly. As I've said before, I think Borg needs that kind of retail FOMO to start coming back into the space. Still don't think it's here. I think one thing that, I don't know how to word this. So crypto feels like everybody knows about crypto these days, and everybody knows about Bitcoin and blah blah blah. The reality is most people don't. There's not that many crypto holders in Europe. There's not that many people into crypto in Europe right now. It just feels like it sometimes, especially because if you're anything like me or most people I know in crypto, you check it 2 or 3 hours a day and you tell a lot of people that surround you about crypto. The reality is most people don't know about it, and the retail FOMO has not kicked in this cycle. That's why I'm so bullish on the next few months, because Bitcoin's at 120k basically. and no one cares. Like, no one's talking about it, especially in Europe. It's big in America right now, but nobody's interested. So I think kind of once we see some major breakouts, we see some big coins starting to break out, XRP, Ethereum, maybe like a Dogecoin breakout or something like that. Maybe this pump.fun token, if it flies next week, when it starts trading, that could be the thing that starts bringing retail back into the market. But right now, retail are massively sidelined because they listen to the news. If you think about everything we've spoke about on streams, NCC Pro, on our podcast, all we've been saying for the last 6 months is tariffs, rates, Trump, recession. It's all nonsense. It's all noise. It's not happening. But if you're somebody that listens to the mainstream media, you would think the US was imploding. You would think that the market was in disarray. Stock market's at all-time highs. The Nasdaq's at all-time highs. Bitcoin's at all-time highs. Like, there is zero issues in the stock market right now. But if you listen to the news, you would think it was Armageddon. So I think right now, until people start seeing coins that they're familiar with, other than Bitcoin, flash up as new all-time highs and making massive gains in a day, like 20% gains in a day, I don't think we'll see retail flow in. That's what Borg needs. Borg needs that retail FOMO to kick in. And when it does, it'll fly. Because the app's the best app in crypto, by a mile. The on and off ramp is the best in crypto, by a mile. You can go from fiat currency to any token in one click, which you can't do anywhere else that I've found. So, for me, it lends itself really well to retail investors. Retail investors haven't arrived yet. As soon as they do, it'll do really well. But until then, we just need to sit and be patient. And it's just like every other token. It'll have its time. Everybody just needs to kind of sit and chill. The worst thing you can do is sell and chase something that has pumped. So I saw somebody the other day talking about selling XRP, maybe, to buy something. But imagine you sold Borg down here and you went and bought, I don't know, Solana. Well, Solana's already up quite high. And if Borg then takes off, what are you going to do? Go back and buy it back? You can't. You need to just sit on your hands. If you actually think about it, explain the value of Swissborg and Borg to somebody that knows nothing about crypto, they'll understand why you hold it, in my opinion. 100% not, Gary. They delisted from centralized exchanges. It's probably the best move they could make. It means that all their trades are transparent and there's not... I don't know if I can show it on this, actually. But, like... Let me see. I'm not sure when they delisted, but a lot of these big spikes were market makers and centralized exchanges. Like, see these moves here, I'm pretty sure, because they're still listed on HTX, which is some scam exchange. But that's what happens. Basically, the price moves up and the market makers just sell off and sell against the price. Because it's now DEX only, it's completely buy and sell. Like, if loads of buys come in, the price will move up. There's no one to artificially sell the price back down. So moving to DEXs for me was a great move, and I think it'll benefit them long term. Yeah, I think Borg will do well. Yeah, I think there'll be another meme season. It'll be crazy. It'll be like nothing we've probably seen. It'll be bigger than December. Borg will do really well. All meme coins will do really well, and it'll probably mark a local top. That's typically when you see meme coins go crazy. That's normally a signal that there's too much froth, there's too much profit, there's too much money in the market, and it's probably a signal that it's coming to an end. touched on it earlier, so anyone that's not in CC Pro, I think if you're not in CC Pro at this stage, you really need to have a word with yourself and think about it. We are literally given daily, hourly, sometimes updates on the market. Try to keep people sane during times when it's really tough, and it's probably been the toughest period over the last 6 months. Has been really testing, but we've tried to keep everybody sane. We literally, Deck posted a post and a podcast saying that the markets were about to bottom. It was not just noise coming from the media. That was on the 1st of April. I posted, no, that was on the 7th of April, sorry. On the 1st of April, I posted saying, this is why I'm super bullish. That was the local bottom. Bitcoin hit 74k, and we've not looked back since. We looked at a few coins today. They're up massively since then. Every other KOL, influencer, whatever you want to call them, was calling for 50k, 60k, 70k. Like, everybody was calling for lower. It was the same as last year when Bitcoin dropped to 48k. People were saying it was going back to 32k. We provide real insights, and we hold all the projects that we talk about. So we're in the market. We've got skin in the game. We've got Copytrading on BloFin, which basically takes trades for you, and again, another passive income opportunity. We do project updates to explain what's going on in the market. We've got loads of tutorials on how to buy, how to trade. We've got trade setups. We've got a massive trading section, which is amazing, and got loads of TA in it. And then obviously we've got market analysis, the chat room, we've got updates. So yeah, if you're not in CC Pro, the link's in the chat. But it's not just about how much money you can make. It's more about not making stupid mistakes, like selling XRP at 50 cents 3 days before it exploded 5x, which I personally know people that have done that. We tried to make sure no one in CC Pro fell for that stupid mistake as well. So yeah, check it out if you're not in CC Pro. It could cost you a lot of money over the next few months, which are probably going to be the craziest anyone watching this stream has ever experienced. Let's have a look back in the chat. Flame. Yeah, I think XRP memes will have their day. I think we're just waiting on XRP really breaking out. I think that's when it gets exciting. Let's have a look at the weekly. Yeah, it looks like potentially a double bottom. What's up? 53% this week. That'd be a nice move into the weekly close. On the daily chart, just coming back down, probably test the top of this range. Maybe down even as low as 0.004. This is a perfect example of a chart that has no sell pressure. So when it actually moves, when there's actual buy pressure, the token will just fly. And Velo, is it breaking out? It needs to break through the 200-day moving average, I would say. But yeah, looking pretty good. Try to get out of this range here around 0.015. If it could close above that, then yeah, you'd probably say it was looking strong to head much higher. But yeah, I think the 200-day moving average is still there. A close above it would be very, very bullish. Paul, so we have a trading section in CC Pro. So it's not me that places the trades, but we have a trading section. It's got loads of information, tutorials, loads of amazing TA. So telling you about different indicators, different techniques, loads of useful terms that you probably haven't come across, especially on like YouTube and stuff. So yeah, I would check out the trading section. I would also potentially watch Mitch Ray on YouTube. He's amazing. And then just get TradingView and just start drawing patterns on the chart. For me, it's learn by doing. That's everything in life. Learn by doing. So go, if you get, I can't remember what version this is, but it's not expensive. It's not like one of the top pro levels. But you have what's called replay, so you can actually go back anytime in history. So you can literally go back to like 2023, for example, and then you can just plot what you think's coming next. You can plot different chart patterns, see if it plays out, and then it just you can see this here, and then just replays the whole chart. So yeah, literally learn by doing. Go and get TradingView, start drawing patterns, trend lines, resistance, support. But check out the trading section in CC Pro. It's got all the information to get you set up and get you started. And then if it's too complicated or you don't have time, because trading's quite time consuming, use Copytrading. We've got a Copytrading account on BloFin. The details are in the description for this stream, but there's also a video on it. So BloFin, great exchange, perfect for Copytrading. We use Quantoshi. I've got an interview with the founders you can check out, but they take the trades for you, so you don't really have to do anything. You just deposit money and they'll take trades, they'll open and close them. You don't really even have to look at it. So yeah, that might be something that you want to take part in as well, and then you don't have to spend hours in front of screens every day. Yeah, keep buying Borg. That's to be fair, the one thing I would say is the good thing with Borg staying so low is that it's still in an amazing accumulation area. So anyone that wants to add, it's still cheap to buy. Whereas you're not going to be buying like XRP at 285, I would hope. Yeah, Bitcoin looking very strong this week. So I started talking about earlier. So the Clarity Act is, I think, being voted on or at least discussed in the US this week. So we obviously had the Genius Act, which set all the kind of groundwork for stablecoins. We saw Circle IPO. Stablecoins have done very well. We expect volumes on stablecoins to absolutely explode this year. This week we have the Clarity Act, and I think this week has been called the Crypto Week for regulators in the US. So they want to get the Genius Act finally signed off and done. And then the Clarity Act is basically going to decide who manages crypto. So right now it's like a fight between the CFTC and the SEC. Obviously we saw what the SEC has done over the past couple of years. Gary Gensler's quit. SEC is much more pro crypto. So it's basically going to decide who manages what, how they regulate it, who regulates it, and just have some clear groundwork for regulation so that everybody can just get on with their lives and know if they're doing illegal activities or not. Because there's still a lot of, or a lack of clarity for crypto in the States. There's a lot of things you can and can't do, mostly because people aren't clear on the rules. So that should help. It also, it just kind of paves the way for institutions. institutions in the US or anywhere, to be honest, if you're managing massive pools of capital, you can't risk it on potentially falling foul of the law. If you think about it, if you manage like a few billion, even 100 billion, and you go and invest it in something and then the SEC tells you it's illegal, you could lose all that money, you could go to jail, you could get fired. Like, the risks are too huge. No one's going to take that chance. So once we get that regulation in place, that clarity, institutions will become a lot more lax about investing in crypto, and it could send huge pools of capital into the crypto market. So that's why it's so beneficial. It doesn't necessarily have to be signed into law for it to take effect. So I imagine if there is some positive news this week, the market's going to see that as bullish, even though it's probably going to take another couple of weeks, if not months, to sign it into law. So yeah, very bullish. And yeah, it's just something the US government said. Well, Trump said he was going to be pro-crypto. He's kind of proven that. And that's why Bitcoin's absolutely flying, is because it's had this clarity for a while, and ETFs gave it that last January. So yeah, I think Bitcoin dominance will drop quite fast once we get clarity on altcoins and how institutions can actually invest in them. Cardano with a huge week last week as well. Breaking out this channel, I'll show you on the daily in a second. 27% move. And it's kind of what I've been saying for weeks, is these legacy coins, everybody's writing them off, saying who's buying Cardano. But this is where, you know, people that want to play it a bit safe but still want that upside potential, they're going to buy things like Cardano, Polkadot, Algorand, things like that have got a bit of history about them. You can see it just fighting with the 200-day moving average. If we look through the market, you've got Solana consolidating at the 200-day moving average. You've got Cardano, you've got BNB consolidating at this kind of breakout level. Let's have a look. There's Litecoin at kind of key level and the 200-day moving average. So the market is coiling up. Will we get a bit of a retracement and then go again? I'm not so sure. I think we're just going to consolidate and then eventually burst through these levels. Hedera, huge move over the last 24 hours. Massive move. And if we look at the week, it's insane. 50% almost in a week. Huge move. I think, if I'm right, curve has broken the 200-day moving average. Yep, broken above the 200-day moving average. A close above here, really bullish. And yeah, you're kind of looking at that 85 cents level as the next target. Maybe a little stop off around 75. Another one broken and tested the 200-day moving average. There's so much bullishness in the market. Arbitrum just coming up to the 200-day moving average. Arbitrum got absolutely smashed over the last drawdown. So I'm not sure how high it can get back to. Still down 65% since December. So loads of upside to run. Can it get back to all-time highs? Possibly. I think more and more things are starting to get announced for Arbitrum, tokenized stocks, things like that. Which is pretty bullish. 68 cents looks like the next key level. I don't know if it'll get back up here that quickly, but if people start using the chain, then that's exactly how it moves. And then obviously Stellar Lumens, huge move, up 90% in a week. Hopefully that's a sign of things to come for XRP. I don't know what that name is, but so Flame, we covered Alvara. To be fair, we covered that in the last stream. Alvara's definitely not got it dust. So the seed round was 15 cents, so up a little bit. Mainnet launches 12th of August. I imagine Alvara's going to fly when mainnet launches. I think they've got some big plans market-wise, especially with the baskets. So yeah, I'm really buzzing for Alvara to launch mainnet next month, and I think that could be massively bullish for MD that holds the token. I think it'll do really well. It's got buy and burn. So yeah, not concerned about Alvara at all. Not actually looked at Opulus. So Opulus had that strange move. I think it was Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. Pumped right up, battered off the 200-day moving average. This, so somebody asked earlier about Borg not being on centralized exchange. This to me looks like pure manipulation from a centralized exchange. I don't know how you can be 99% down on Opulus, to be honest. I don't know when you, unless you're just buying local tops, you can't be 99% down on Opulus. But yeah, so this to me looks like potentially like a market maker or a centralized exchange, just dumping price. Eventually they will give in, but yeah, strange move here. And you can see the big wicks. It does look like it's setting itself up to recover. Obviously we're up off the lows now, up 55% for the lows. But yeah, I think over the next few weeks, I think as that liquidity starts coming in, I think these market makers are going to start giving in to this and start allowing price to rally. But this is the problem with centralized exchanges, is they hold massive amounts of tokens, so they just dump tokens when there is these price spikes. Yeah, pure manipulation in my opinion. But yeah, Opulus very active as well on Twitter, which is nice to see. So I think big things to come from them. I think they've incorporated AI now as well. They're always active with new updates. So yeah, I think Opulus is going to have an amazing bull run. The DXY, interesting. So we've not really spoke about this actually, but DXY is at its lowest level since 2021, down massively since Trump took office, so down 11%. It is in this massive channel. It looks like it's going to recover a little bit. I think we'll get a bit of a dead cat bounce, maybe up as high as 104 and then roll over. I don't think that's going to be bad for risk assets, and the reason for that is the DXY is made up of different currencies, and I actually think the DXY strengthening won't be the dollar strengthening, it'll be other currencies weakening. So I think the euro is probably going to roll over. I think the euro will get a lot weaker this year, because, not to go into it, but Europe's going to invest massive amounts in weapons and arms. They're going to have to print trillions of euros to pay for it, and I think that's going to be really bad for currency. I think the UK, the pound is going to trend way weaker in the next few months. Borrowing costs are up, spending is going to go through the roof. So I think the DXY getting stronger won't be because of a strong dollar, it'll be because of a weak basket of currencies. So yeah, I think we will see a bit of a bounce in the DXY in the coming weeks. I don't think it's going to impact crypto at all, because to be honest, when we fell, like this whole period we fell, most of crypto never actually went anywhere. So yeah, I think watch out for a DXY bounce, but don't worry about it. Uniswap again, bouncing off the 200 moving average, looking amazing. One of my favourite coins for this cycle. I think it'll do really well. I speak about DEX tokens all the time, so I'm not going to bang on about it. Avalanche, not one I hold, to be fair, but there's a lot of things I'm hearing about Avalanche. You can see it bounced off this key level 3 times. So March, April, and then again in June, and ever since it's just moved much higher. I think this is one to watch because they're investing a lot in projects who are going to build on the Avalanche chain. That'll be really bullish for price as it generates fees and funds. So it'll be interesting to see how well Avalanche does in the coming weeks. And then Sushi, we'll speak about Sushi, still in the accumulation zone, but looks like it could be gearing up for, especially on the 3-day chart, gearing up for a move, get back above 89-90 cents, and then yeah, take out 108 and then back. It's got huge room to grow. Even if it just goes back to the December high, that's 280. That's a 4x from here. That's massive move. But yeah, a massively bullish weekly candle close coming up for Bitcoin, for Ethereum, most importantly for the total market cap. So I mentioned this at the start. If we break above this 3.74 level, then we are in price discovery on a market cap. I think we go to 4 trillion pretty quickly. 4.4 trillion is the next sensible, logical target. That is going to send coins, especially XRP, Ethereum, things like that, absolute to the moon. BNB actually, we never covered the target, but the target is insane for BNB coin. So yeah, 979 likely coming if we get a breakout from this level. So the markets look poised, they look prime. I will be back. So we're going to wrap up this stream. If Ethereum or Bitcoin or the total market cap breaks out, I will jump on live tonight. So stay tuned to CC Pro. If you're not in CC Pro, you need to sign up. It's going to save you a fortune, make you loads of money, loads of opportunities, and just keep you sane during some of the terrible times in the market, which we've experienced loads of over the last few weeks. If you're not in Vantage yet, the pre-sale is still open, so make sure to get involved. And I will be back as the markets break out in the next few hours. If we get that breakout, if not, we might go live tomorrow. But basically, we are on breakout watch, and we'll be bringing live streams as it happens. So that's all for right now, but I will see you very soon.